Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining in from around the world. I'm delighted, so excited that you're here for today's lesson about reinventing your impact. And all this week we've been talking about personal branding, especially for women leaders. And every day for the next couple of weeks and for the past weeks, I share advice and actionable skills to help you become a better, more confident leader. My whole mission is about teaching leadership skills and life strategies so that you can be the best that you want to be. I'm Dr. Geneva, leadership expert, and I believe that with the right mindset, the skills that any woman can positively impact those things that she really cares about, that she wants to do, her teams, her community, her company, her organization, in her family. And you don't need this fancy title to lead change, whether you run a company, a nonprofit organization, you organize volunteers, or you lead at your church or in your family, you can grow and share your gifts. And, I think that when women lead confidently from their strengths, families, organizations, communities, the world thrives. So today's lesson is going to be all about networking and public speaking for brand visibility. So, we've talked about how to build your brand, how to use vision for your brand, how to use social media to build your brand. This lesson is about networking and public speaking and how they can be incredible tools for really strengthening and upticking, elevating your brand. And they particularly help in terms of your visibility. So for today's quote, I have chosen a hero to many of us, Nelson Mandela, who says, "It always seems impossible until it's done." Now, you may ask me, Dr. Geneva, what does that have to do with this subject of networking and public speaking? Well, first of all, I think that um, Nelson Mandela is really talking to us about the preservation and determination of our will, so that if we stick to it and we do it, that even though it might seem like it can't be done, when it's over, we look back and say, I did it. And what he's really doing is highlighting that many challenges, no matter how scary and daunting and, ooh, can we do it, uh, can seem, that with the hard work and being resilient and with effort, that things can be overcome. So again, you may be saying, okay, I get that. We get what Brother Mandela is saying, but how does that relate to networking and public speaking? Well, you know, when it comes to public speaking, that is one of the research shows that is one of the greatest fears that people have. And the whole thing about networking, so many folk, whether they feel they're introverts or really don't like small talk and don't really know how to do it, networking falls in that arena too. So now we have two tools that I'm telling you do help increase, elevate, and build your brand, but they tend to be two activities that present a lot of discomfort for many. So I thought that this quote might kind of focus our attention on that aspect of networking and public speaking. That is the fear to use them. And I wanted to really dive into this one because there's such networking and speaking are such incredible tools for you to use if you want to build your brand. Think about the visibility when you speak in public that you can gain. You could talk to hundreds. That might even scare you thinking about that, but you can, and you're immediately visible. You could be online, you could be doing what I'm doing right now, the lives, and be reaching hundreds and thousands of people. So clearly, public speaking as a strategy and a tool is good in terms of your visibility, in terms of your brand's appearance and being out there. And networking, well, that's making connections. Um, Genuine relationships where people know you and get to know what you're about, and when they see you, they recognize you, they introduce you to others, and there's opportunities there. So the two of these strategies, particularly combined, really can help in terms of elevating and building your personal brand. So let's look at three uh, lesson points that I want to make. The first is you got to break down those barriers that you may seem. Again, we've talked about limiting beliefs before, but it's important to break down your barriers. And while stepping out and initiating and trying to maintain professional relationships may seem a little overwhelming, especially if you're not naturally inclined to network, or you may see yourself as an introvert. Once you do it, once you take a step and um, work on, take your first or your second or your third effort at making connections and networking, those fears are going to diminish. They really will. That's what Nelson Mandela is telling us, that while things, you know, may seem daunting and unreachable and we can't do it, yeah, that's the truth until we do it, until it's done. And then the secret to it is that once you do it and you get over it and you say, I've accomplished something, you get some confidence about that. And so it's easier to take the next step. And speaking of steps, as you're breaking down barriers to step out and do that networking, take small ones in reaching out and connecting with others in your field. So you might start with a peer at work where you actually make an intentional, effort to step out, meet them, talk to them, learn a little bit more about them. But it's important to break down any barriers that you see that can keep you away from this strategy of networking. The second is it's important to overcome fears about public speaking. And again, if you have those fears, you ain't alone. There are so many folk who have this fear of speaking to others, speaking in front of an audience, making a presentation. So you're not alone. However, if you as a leader, particularly if you're looking to your next chapter where you want to move from one industry to another, you want to change careers, you want to start a business, you must overcome this hurdle in terms of your brand. And because it's so important, because it can give you so much visibility for your brand. And so I'd like you to think about some strategies where you can start small if you have these concerns or hesitancy or self doubt about public speaking. Start with small groups, um, a couple of people in your company, or one or two team members in your organization, or practice with some friends that you know, and then move to larger groups and build your confidence as you go. And a pro tip is focus on what you're saying, your message, rather than the fear that you might have. So if that message that you want to get to people is important, focus on that. I know I come here every morning, and I'm usually coming in and doing these in the morning and after I work out, because I do believe in regular exercise and physical development, and that's one of the things that's really helped me as a leader, really helping me to not only reduce stress but become more confident, because it just gives you, just charges you, just gives me so much energy. So often I'm rushing in to come and talk with you. But what drives me, I love it. And my nervousness and fear of coming in and speaking to hundreds and thousands of people all over the world. Not sure how my hair be looking, or whether you saw one of my videos, perhaps where I was trying to clean the lipstick off my teeth or what have you. But you know what's more important? It's the lesson. It's the message. I want to teach. I want to share my over 4 decades of experience and wisdom and expertise in being a leader, going through life challenges, reinventing myself numerous times. I want to share what I've learned with you. So, when we focus on the message, on what it is we're doing, what it is we want to say, that can reduce and sometimes eliminate that fear in public speaking. The third point that I wanted to leave with you, and this really builds on what we've been talking about in terms of taking small steps, practicing, doing it, and that is that your persistence leads to mastery. So doing it over and over and over and over again, and working to become proficient in these areas is often, um, you know, helps in terms of your experience and growing your experience. So as you work on it, as you do it over and over and over again, you in fact become more adept, more skilled at speaking, or making connections, whether online or in person. Now, if you're interested in any more specifics and getting into detail, I have several videos on my channel that dive deep into networking and how you can become a master at that, how to speak like a pro. Those videos are here. So check out my channel. And if you're liking any of the content, please subscribe. But what I really want you to do is hear the message about, if you continually work at something, you will be able to master it. And the continuous practice and learning from each experience that you have matters. So don't let anybody tell you that, we're talking about something that's an innate talent that you have. No, you can develop this, you can create it. And as Nelson Mandela says, it always seems impossible until it's done, until you said, I did that. And that wasn't so bad. So, in summary, while public speaking and networking can seem like, they're just too big to do, or I'm fearful of it, or I'm really an introvert. I don't like speaking in front of groups, or, I'm moving into a new area, I'm changing careers, and I really don't know those people, and I'm not sure how to get to know them. If any of those concerns run through your mind, remember that you're not alone with those. And those are the things that can happen up front or first. However, because networking and public speaking are essential skills in building, in increasing, in elevating your brand visibility, you got to figure out how to master 'em. Okay. And I'm here to help you with that. I'm hoping that these points have been helpful that we've talked about today. As I said, I've got some other videos here on my channel that deal with this and give you some tips and strategies. But one thing I want you to do is today, I'd like you to take one action that can improve your networking or public speaking skills. It could be saying, I'm going to go to that networking event that you were thinking about passing up. Okay. Go on and go to it. Or maybe signing up for a workshop on public speaking to increase your skills, or join Toastmasters. There's lots of things that you can do. Or, as I said before, just start a conversation with a colleague or peer and just get in the habit, okay? Practice striking up conversations and start with people you know so that it's not overwhelming to you. Remember, the key is to take that first step. And as um, Brother Mandela said, it's always impossible. It always is until it's done. It has been my delight to be with you again today. I'm going to see you next time tomorrow. And remember, I want you to be the leader only you can be. I'll see you next time. Have a fabulous, fabulous day.